Joining me now is Tamar El-Ghobashy, a New York Daily News reporter who was at Columbia today. Rachel Maddow, host of Rachel Maddow Show on Air America, an MSNBC political analyst and also a Columbia University graduate. Pat Buchanan. All right. Thanks to everyone for coming on. Appreciate it. All right. Tamar, let me start with you. Did the students there, I mean, there was a lot of applause in the audience there. Were there a good number of students who were there to support him?
I'm not quite sure if it was there that people were applauding out of support, but speaking to students after the Mr. Ahmadinejad's speech, I think many people expressed a surprise that he wasn't this raving lunatic that he's been portrayed to be, but he actually came across as you mentioned, a measured statesman in light of President Bollinger's attacks on him initially. And I think the opportunity for people to see him unfiltered and listen to exactly what he had to say, and he did address the questions he was asked quite directly.
No, he did. Come on. Were you listening to the same speech I was listening to? He didn't answer any of the questions that he was asked directly.
Sure. I mean, some of the answers did seem absurd to some of the people in the audience. But he did, point by point, answer the questions that he was asked.
I didn't hear those answers, but Pat Buchanan, the problem is exactly this. This is my concern, is that a liar and propagandist has been given this forum, and now students are walking away saying, you know what? Wow, it seemed kind of reasonable.
Well, I mean, Dan, Columbia gave him an audience of 2,000 or 3,000. MSNBC gave him an audience of 300,000. That's when the American people saw and heard him on MSNBC, on CNN, on Fox, all carried it live. You got, what, 3 or 4 million? That's the audience we gave him. How can you condemn Columbia for letting students hear what we're delighted to give to the entire nation?
The bottom line is Columbia gives its name to this event. It is a news event now. Columbia shouldn't have given its name to the event, in my view, because of exactly what we're seeing here, which is students walking out of there. You know, look, and Rachel,
wait a minute, Dan.
go ahead, Pat,
yeah, but look, if you say Columbia, because students are walking out of there and they tend to think maybe the guy did very well.
It's not that he did very well, Pat. It's that he's a propagandist.
Then why do we put him on the air?
Look, it's a separate question, Pat. I mean, we can talk about whether the media should be covering it, and it's a legitimate discussion. I'm not minimizing your point. I'm saying, first let's talk about whether Columbia invites him at all. They're the ones who are inviting him. They're the ones whose home he is at.
All right, you're right, Dan. Let me just make this point. Look, you made a good point. The dean said he would have invited Hitler to come speak, but they kicked ROTC off campus because of their no ask, don't tell policy. I mean, what kind of standards are up there at our alma mater?
All right, go ahead, Rachel. I'm sorry.
Well, the ROTC thing is a different matter because it's not giving speeches, it's recruiting. It's a different activity altogether. But I also have to wonder why you guys are so mad at Columbia and you're not mad at the Council on Foreign Relations, who hosted him last year for a speech, or the National Press Club, who also hosted him today for a video conference.
Because it seems to me that there is an obligation on a university that is different. I think when a university invites someone, particularly a university like Columbia University, we see exactly what happened today, which is he walks out of there, he puts together all of this propaganda. Let me play a bit more sound. This is more today of Ahmadinejad, some of his greatest hits.
We love all nations. We are friends with the Jewish people. The Iranian nation is a victim of terrorism. We were the first nation that objected to terrorism and the first to uphold the need to fight terrorism. Iranian people are free. Women in Iran enjoy the highest levels of freedom. We do not believe in nuclear weapons, period. It goes against the whole grain of humanity.
Rachel, almost all of that is entirely untrue. Now, I understand that there can be different people who can have different opinions and speak about different things. Fine. I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to speak. I'm saying that Columbia shouldn't host him.
Right, but listen, it's not like he's not going to be the president of Iran and he's not going to say those things if Columbia doesn't host him. By giving him the opportunity to speak, he makes an ass out of himself, frankly. I mean, saying that there's no gay people in Iran, he made some sort of ridiculous joke where he said that any country that pursues nuclear weapons is retarded. He used the word retarded. I mean, there's no worse enemy than this guy has than himself.
See,
so giving him a platform exposes him for what he is.
My concern is, though, you heard Tamar say at the top of this piece that a lot of the students were walking out, you heard them applauding him. A lot of students were walking out of there saying, you know what, I listened, And how, my goodness, he made more sense than I expected.
Dan, you don't sound like a Columbia University graduate if you don't think that students should be trusted with information to make decisions on their own. Free speech says defeat bad speech with better speech. It doesn't say shut people up.
Wait, one sec. That's about what you have. Hang on. That's about what you have the right. I'm not questioning at all his right to speak. I'm not questioning anyone's right to. I'm making a judgment about what Columbia did. I'm not saying that there was no right to do it.
I'm terribly upset that some people walked out of there and said the guy made some very good points, which he did. He made some foolish ones about no gays in Iran that had everybody laughing, all those kids laughing. But he made some other ones like nuclear weapons. He said, look, we don't got nukes. We've never been convicted of diverting our enriched uranium at all. Israel's got them. The Americans have got them. Pakistan's got them. All these others that didn't sign the treaty.
All right, let me play another side. This is from the President, Lee Bollinger, and I want to ask you all if you think that this actually enhanced Ahmadinejad rather than denigrating him. Let's listen.
It should never be thought that merely to listen to ideas we deplore in any way implies our endorsement of those ideas or our weakness of our resolve to resist those ideas or our naivete about the very real dangers inherent in such ideas. It is a critical premise of freedom of speech that we do not honor the dishonorable when we open our public forum to their voices.
But then he did dishonor the dishonorable by going after him. He went after him, Rachel, from the very beginning. Do you think that just enhanced Ahmadinejad?
No, I think it made Bollinger feel better about having invited him there despite all of the attacks that he got. Listen, the best thing we could do for Ahmadinejad, who's not very popular at home and is doing a really bad job running his own country, is to make him a really big deal in America. We've made him the star that we are by beating our chests about him so much. If you just let him give his stupid speech and didn't get so excited about it, his popularity at home would go down. He'd be weak.
And he may not even be running the country. I mean, the Ayatollah may be running the country over there. Real quick, Pat.
You got a very good point. If Bollinger thinks this guy's a liar and he's putting out filth and he's not telling the truth, and that is what he's doing, and he believes that deeply, why would you give him a forum?
It's interesting. We're talking about, I've never thought that we'd be talking about gays in Iran and have Pat Buchanan and Rachel Maddow agreeing on the same side.
There are gays in Iran.
Pat Buchanan conceding there are gays in Iran. Unbelievable.
I've always loved that.
Tamar El-Ghobashy, Pat Buchanan, Rachel Maddow. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.